What's up, Trash Talkers and Gruntwork Nation? We're here with our first Gruntworks platform, UFC and NFL Pick'em. We're here with the Mad Russian, Bill Pearson. All right, the artillery guy, the king of battle, the one who's the champ right now, with a 1-point lead over Joe, the Trigger Joe Britson. So they're not going to gamble on this one for their little challenge they got going on because they want to give you the best picks possible. And now the NFL, I don't know how Gruntworks feels, but they're a little more political than VTT is. And I really don't give a fuck if you're a snowflake and you don't want to watch the NFL. All right, we're going to put that out there. The Big Earl says, quit being a trigger pansy. All right. If they want to kneel, they can kneel. Some of you guys still hate Colin Kaepernick. He hasn't played like in 4 fucking years. All right.
This is America. Football.
It's America. It's football, NFL. And oh, by the way, I'm from Wisconsin, so go Pack, go. Now, I've been on fire. I had a bad Sunday last week with my picks, but we didn't go live with them, so it doesn't really matter. But I think I've been 6 for 8 in the playoffs. That's not a bad time. So it's real easy. Both games are locks. It's that simple. You're going to take the Pack. All right, the Pack's going to bury Tampa Bay because I don't care what you said. The Aaron Rodgers ain't losing this year. And then Patrick Mahomes cleared concussion protocol, and only way that game goes south is if he didn't get to practice very much and he's just not in there. But Casey's gonna. I've been riding Buffalo's tails. Their wagon, circle the wagons, the Buffalo Bills. I have been riding their coattails all year, making money off of them. But they are they're not ready to beat the team that's been in the AFC Championship 3 straight years in a row. All right, they're not there yet. You give them one kick in the butt here. Next year, they're going to be dangerous. The year after that, they're going to be more dangerous. It's a progress in the NFL, and that's just the way it is. Okay, before we get to UFC 257, it's a big one. All right, everybody's pretty pumped for it. And for the Gruntworks Nation, those of you that don't know, these guys, go back and watch on our YouTube channel. Go watch their UFC picks. We took our licks a couple weeks, but the majority of the weeks, they won you a lot of money if you bet with them. So again, bet with these guys. They're going to give you their locks. They're going to give you parlays. All right. You degenerates out there, if you don't have the money to gamble, don't do it. All right. But if you just like to put a little bit extra cheese in the game, skin in the game, I'm from Wisconsin. I say cheese. Put your money on them. They're going to win. Before we get to that, though, some sad news today for us Milwaukee guys and the guys in Georgia. All right. Hammer and Hank Aaron passed away. 1957 MVP and World Series champion. The last time Milwaukee baseball team had a championship with the Milwaukee Braves. And, he went down, did great things in Atlanta. And, I mean, there's a few people on this planet that I'm jealous of. And
all-around legend.
Yeah, I'm not jealous of his talent to play baseball. I'm jealous of how great of a person he was. And why can't I be like that guy? And the things he dealt with in his life, and for him to still be nice, that it's amazing. The death threats, his kids had to hide because there were threats of getting kidnapped. The fact
that man can walk with no chip on his shoulder is a testament to just how big of an individual he was.
That, or he was able, he was able to stay resilient because he knew somehow inside he had the strength that the media was just waiting. The racist media was just waiting for him to do something stupid. Same with Jackie Robinson, and Jackie Robinson, it probably took years off of his life, decades, the stress that he went through. So Hammer and Hank, if you take all of his home runs away, 755 of them, he still has over 3,000 hits. All right.
Wow.
So think about
good
that.
Stat there.
All right. And I can't claim that one. I don't do much research on baseball, but
City Slickers, greatest baseball movie debate ever when they were debating Clemente or Hank Aaron.
Correct.
That's before everybody was roided out of their gills too.
So Keith I'm watching some comments. Keith, you want to fight me? Again, it's probably because you don't listen very well, or you have the capacity of like a 4-year-old to understand what I'm saying. If you're a degenerate and you don't have the money to gamble, please don't gamble. If you have the money, do it. Put some money in there, man. These guys are going to win you money. So It's that simple. And again, quit being a triggered.
This guy know you own a tap out shirt.
I mean, I don't think he's watched the video. I own a punching bag. I've never hit
and
it.
a tap out shirt.
And a tap out shirt. Okay. And so when I put that on with Ranger panties, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Dancing on a fault line, kid.
Probably just fucking run away.
Fault line.
So here we go to UFC, and we'll go to the. Again, this isn't for a competition, so we'll go to the fight card, and the first one is a women's strawweight bout, and you have the fight between Marina Rodriguez and Amanda Ribas. This one looks pretty solid. The pretty even records: 12-1-2 for Marina, 10-1 for Amanda. A little shorter on Amanda's side, but she's got a longer reach. But then Marina's got the longer legs. And good thing Bill's picking first, because go back, watch our shows. Like I said, I think Bill's like 99.9% on women's fights, maybe even 100. I don't really like to give him that credit of 100, so we'll say 99.9. So when he picks his women fights in the round they go down, he's pretty close. That being said, New Nation listening, if these guys agree on the same round and the same ending, they're over 90%. So just pay attention. Mad Rush.
In some cultures, they call Bill the king of the girl fights.
It is true.
Yeah.
And
I'll take it. I'll take it if it wins people money.
Yeah, and then a big shout out to 10th Mountain Whiskey. I got my potato vodka and tonic tonight, and they got great bourbon. Put in VTT.
I got some Nick's favorite right here.
Yeah, I got to save that for Saturday. I'll drink the whole damn bottle again. So just make sure you put in that VTT code at 10th Mountain Distillery, and they'll give you a discount. First fight, Bill gets the honor to talk about it first because he is the champ, the king of battle. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's artillery, because the king can only go one spot at a time. It's just the way it is. They're too heavy to move, too fat. Bill, go ahead. Sorry. Welcome to the show.
We can just blow up all the squares across the checkers board from one spot, so we don't need to move all that much. So Joe and I went back and forth on this one a little bit. No, let me say back and forth. But we both agree on the winner. It's going to be Ribas. Right now, she's at a -315 favorite. What we went back and forth on is whether she's going to win by decision or submission. The reason we went back and forth on this, if you look at Marina, she likes to just drag fights and try to outpoint people into the decision. Honestly, I've gone back and forth a little bit on this one. Joe, I don't know if Joe's going to agree with me on this one. I'm actually going to move towards a submission on this one. I think Ribas is going to pull a submission off on her. Most likely, there'll be a choke of some sort. She's pulled off a few arm bars in her past, but I think it's going to be a choke. Like I said, we agreed on Ribas winning. I think I was going to go for a decision, but I think Joe's right on this one. I think this one's going to be a choke. It's going to be late second, early third round. What do you got, Joe?
I agree. I agree. She's not going to want to stand with Rodriguez, and it's not because Rodriguez is a finisher. She will outpoint you. She'll steal rounds. So Ribas being the far superior grappler, she's going to want to get it to the ground quick, and I actually think she's going to sub her. I think she's going to sub her late in the first when there's no sweat and nobody's slippery. I think easier to lock one on, and she's going to want to get it to the ground quick. So I'm going to take Ribas and say submission first. But if you got a spot that'll let you play her for under 2.5 rounds, that's where I'm going, because that's going to be good money too.
But if you want to go straight money line, Ribas all day.
All right, there you have it, guys and girls. They're all going with Ribas, and I didn't pick that one because I won again. I don't really follow underwear fighting. I love watching it. But if I looked at Ribas too, she got the longer arm. She's going for the takedown. She's gonna mess you up. But either way, to the next fight. Let's go to the card with Andrew Sanchez versus Mohammed Mirdoff. Now, Mohammed seems to me like that's a common name that I've heard in UFC before. Mirdoff, I mean, is he falling off the wagon that he's down there on the fight card so far? Maybe these guys will talk about it. But we're looking at 12-5 versus 24-6, 30 fights from Tajikistan. I think we killed somebody from there. I'm not quite sure.
Possibility.
The prints are on him. I don't know what it was, but Mahmoud, it wasn't me. It wasn't personal, man. It's just a job.
You failed the X-spray kit, bro. All right.
It looked pretty even. So let's go to Joe with his analysis of the Sanchez Mirdoff fight. What you got, Joe?
Yeah, I like Mirdoff in this fight. Even though I know it always sounds silly to some of these people who don't watch it as much as we do. Even though they're both weighing in at 185, I believe Mirdoff's gonna look much physically bigger, stronger. He's on a 13-fight win streak with 10 knockouts. That's quite a streak. And
hasn't lost since 2016.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
He's on a bit of a tear. Now, only 2 of those wins are in the UFC. But doesn't matter. The guy knows how to win. And Sanchez has been KO'd recently. He's 3-2 in his last 5. I like Mirdoff, and I like him by knockout in the second.
Mad Russian, what do you got?
Same thing. Mirdoff, I'll think they're going to feel each other out the first round. I think it's going to be early second. Mirdoff's going to clip him. And like you said, Sanchez has shown he can be knocked out. And he's been knocked out in the first, which scares me a little bit if you're picking rounds. But again, straight money line, if you're going to parlay it, Mirdoff's going to clip him. Like I said, a 4-year, 13-fight win streak is impressive.
And knockouts.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely Mirdoff, second round TKO.
All right, there you go.
When we get big, I'll hit the button when we do that, and there'll be the spinning lights. Wee, same round, same finish. You guys mark that down on your calendar.
That's one of your locks right there to all the viewers out there. Now, you'll see the shirt that Joe's wearing. It's a Jackson Wink shirt, MMA, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Got a little of a connection there. We're good friends with Daniel Gonzalez, who works there.
What's up,
Daniel
brother?
Gonzalez is a Marine, right? I think these Gruntworks guys are all Marines too. So a Marine that was wounded and had some struggles with PTSD and tried to take his life. Now, Overlook Entertainment, go look them up with Sam Medina. Sam Medina is
Sam. What's up, brother?
He is just got out of doing a movie with Mark Wahlberg on Mile 22. So check it out. Sam's the bad guy that tells Mark to be careful. So it's fun whenever we text him because he just always puts back his own movie clip of "Be careful."
And he was a bad guy and Alita Battle Angel.
He really beats the hell out of it, man. I wish he'd get some new material, but we love him anyways.
Yeah, we love him, and he put us in the movie that they're making about Daniel G. So just make sure when that comes out next Veterans Day, you watch it and give him that support. All right, to the next fight. Got to give our Asian behind the scenes some time to work the buttons. So you got Jessica I versus Joanne Calderwood. Pretty even record. You got America versus the Brits. I'm going to go America all day on that one just because. And, pretty even fight. So, Bill, what's your analysis on Jessica versus Joanne?
Talk to him, Bill. Talk to him, Bill.
Those of you who have been watching Joe and I, we've said this 100 times probably. Jessica I has not been the same since the Valentina Shevchenko fight. And those of you who are new, if you want to watch one of the nastiest KOs, YouTube Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica I, when she kicked her soul clean out of her head, and then probably got knocked out even further off that head off the canvas.
I think I actually heard a demon-like whispers go fatality as she hit the ground. It was brutal.
That was nasty. And in the fight world, those are those knockouts that change a fighter, almost like when Chuck got knocked out by Rashad.
Rashad Evans on Chuck, sure.
Those knockouts just change you. And if you watch that knockout, which wasn't that long ago, she got sent to a different universe. Now, Calderwood's got some losses too. Most of her wins are decisions. But I think Calderwood's going to win this fight, and it's going to be a decision. She's just going to grind her out and point her. Jessica I is going to not try to bang too much because, once again, that kick changed her. I don't care who you are. Like you said, Joe and I have both said it. We think Jessica I has become a journeyman fighter. She's kind of just fighting for money at this point. She knows she's not going to win the belt because Valentina's still sitting there. And, again, just think that kick changed her. So it's going to be Calderwood by decision.
All right, Joe, what do you think about that? You on board with that?
Yes, it is going to be Calderwood by decision. Calderwood's a worker bee. You know, she'll stay busy. She's strong enough to keep eye off of her, and eye has not been a threat since that happened. She's just not. It's almost exactly like what happened to Chuck. No snap, no bounce, just different kind of mechanics all around, like a TBI. And honestly, it's kind of sad to see that she obviously has to have money, because she was hurt bad. I mean, one of the nastiest thuds off the canvas, and she was out cold when the thud happened.
And again, you don't see that
regardless of gender. One of the nastiest kicks I've ever seen. And so I just don't think she's a threat. I don't think Calderwood to finish is either, but she's a worker and she'll grind. So definitely Calderwood by decision, and I feel very strongly about that pick.
And like we said, you don't see a lot of those KOs on the female side either. And she got slapped. I think it took him almost 3 minutes to wake her up.
It was the sound of it.
It was like a
bat you could hear
watermelon.
That's exact. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys, viewers. If you want something to look at tonight, look up her last fight. Or how many fights ago was it?
Two
fights ago. Look up 2 fights ago, and I guess listen for the
Shevchenko.
smack of the face with the foot to the face. So I guess it's pretty entertaining. So look it up. Maybe make it TikTok.
The other thing is, Eye is also coming off a loss to Cavillo too. So I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the tape of is it a co-main or just a roundup to it? But either way, we got Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Both look like they're experienced fighters. Dan Hooker is a little taller, same weight, a lot of reach advantage for Dan. So obviously, I will go with Hooker here because, you know, I'm sure he got made fun of more than Michael Chandler, pretty common name. So Hooker probably grew up fighting a little bit more, but he does also look like a pretty boy, so he might have a glass jaw. I don't know what's going on. You guys do. So, Joe, what's your assessment of this fight?
Dan Hooker. I've got him winning this fight, and I actually think he's, man, this one I went back and forth on, but I think he's gonna break Chandler in the third. And one thing Dan Hooker really likes to do is that step back knee, and it's almost like a lead in knee. Well, he's 6 feet tall, and Chandler's 5'8". Chandler's a wrestler, or as Jorge Masvidal calls him, a crotch sniffer. So they go reach in and leave their head down there, and Hooker keeps his hands up, and all of a sudden there's a knee right here because he hasn't moved. And he's knocked a guy. He knocked somebody high level out with it in the UFC, but he can't be. Dustin Poirier hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. What Barbosa did to him when it early on in his career looked like abuse, and couldn't drop the kid. So he's unbelievably durable. I don't think Chandler's got what it takes to hold him on the mat, and that's his only prayer because he's a wrestler. Hooker's going to bang. I think he's going to mess his face up pretty good and finish him in the third.
In the third, Bill, what you got on that one?
I'm with Joe on this one. If those of you are that Dan Hooker Poirier fight was an amazing fight. Those dudes banged it out.
Fight of the year candidate.
Yeah. And if you watch Hooker, he has progressively gotten better every fight. Each fight, a different part of his game is shown up improved a lot. And I think that battle with Poirier did nothing, but he's that type of guy that's going to go back to the drawing board, learn some stuff, tweak some stuff, and come back even better. Chandler's been fighting everybody in Bellator, which to me is a joke anyway. I mean,
this is his first fight in the UFC, Nick. He's a cross-promotion champion. So he's been saying he wanted Khabib for years, and everyone's
nobody
like,
wants that.
It'll be a fucking murder. No, you don't. And so this is who he's getting. And Dana White has a knack for giving guys that come over that run their freaking mouth about champions and everybody else.
Yeah.
He has like Gabriel Gonzaga and Mirko Krokop. Like, those guys end up having a bad first fight. And I think this is going to be a bad first fight for Chandler.
Yes. It's the typical case of, to me, it's like Bellator to UFC is like a AAA player saying he wants Game 7 of the World Series. Give me your top guy. And that's what being a guy in Bellator and saying I want Khabib tomorrow. Like, come on, man.
Bellator is the birthplace and graveyard of UFC fighters.
Yeah.
It's where they start. It's where they start.
Most of their champs are guys that fell out of the top 10. So they left the organization with the Bellator. Became the champ. Yeah, it's just not
okay.
But to go back, Dan Hooker, I'm with Joe. Dan Hooker, third round. He might pull one off in the second with that knee, but they're going to feel each other out. Chandler's going to come in strong, try to get him on the ground for the first 2 rounds. And Hooker's going to time it, and he's going to clip him with a knee in the third round for sure.
Yeah, this seems like one of those fights where if you have it in your parlay, it's going to fuck us because we're going to watch that, like you said, happen. He's going to get him on the ground, and all of a sudden some crazy choke out's going to happen. I'm going to call you, Bill. I'm like, what the fuck? You said Hooker in the third. But again, remember people watching, the reason why Vegas has really big buildings is because they win. All right, but these guys have been beating Vegas for the most part all year long. So go with them. Now, to the main event, the championship fight between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, however you say his name. Anyways, I'm a huge Conor fan because he kind of represents the trash talk symbol, which is a dumpster fire, right? And like anytime him and his entourage are somewhere, it's a dumpster fire. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to come out of his mouth, but we do know one thing: his hands fly. And I became a big fan of him. The last fight he won when he was breaking some famous guy's nose with his shoulder, and I'm sitting here like, I'm like, he's literally tied him up and was punching him with his shoulder on purpose and broke his nose. I'm like,
one of the toughest dudes in UFC too.
Like that's a bad dude when he's intentionally breaking your nose with his shoulder, like while standing, like
in a weight class that he naturally does not belong in.
And you're professional, and you're doing that to a professional fighter. Like that's scary. Because as we all know in the veteran trash talk world, we don't all know it in grunt works, but Joe was the equivalent of a professional fighter and I beat him. So it's like, so for somebody to do that, to another professional fighter is pretty impressive. Looks like Dustin's the higher ranking guy in the weight class, but Conor is the slight favorite tomorrow night. So, Bill, what do we got for the main event?
Man, for all you viewers, Joe and I had 3 separate phone calls about this fight today.
Depending on what you're going to wear.
Yeah, depending on where you're betting,
use the force and trust your talent, Bill.
Yeah. Depending on who you're betting, Conor's between a minus 295 and up to a minus 330, depending on where you're betting. Here's the thing going in here. The last time they fought was 145. Conor slept him in the first round. Then Masvidal convinced Poirier to go up to 155, where he's fought much better. He's ran through the gamut, lost to Khabib, but he's beat up a lot of dudes.
Knocked out Gaethje.
Yeah. And everybody said, oh, he looked much better at 155. But here's the deal. So did Conor. Conor went up to 155, held that belt too, lost to Khabib. But guess what? Literally everybody lost to Khabib. 29 people lost to Khabib. Then he goes up to 170, lost to Diaz, but came back and beat Diaz's ass. And then, like Nick just talked about, he fights Donald Cerrone, one of the toughest dudes at that weight, and looked like a bully. Just beat him up with the shoulder and kicked him in the face and broke his jaw. So
he was leaving his feet.
People forget Conor also is nasty at 155, and that left hand is not a normal left hand that you see in the fight world.
Yeah.
So would I put money on this fight? I would leave it off a parlay. Let me put it that way. I would leave it off a parlay. I wouldn't touch this with a parlay. But I'm going with Conor. Wins by finish,
Bill No
TKO.
Balls Pearson.
I'm going Conor, TKO, second round. I think he's going to feel him out the first round. He's going to get his timing down, and he's going to clip him with that left. And he knows he's got to beat Poirier by the third round, or else he's got to pull back and realize he's got to grind this out for 5 rounds. That's where Poirier is going to typically win. He's going to get his timing down, clip him with that left. Conor McGregor, second round, TKO.
So what I'm hearing you say is if you're going to take Conor, parlay it with under 2.5. If you're going to take Poirier, go over.
Yes.
Okay.
Poirier is not
perfect,
going to win this in the first couple of rounds. He's got to win.
Yeah.
He's going to win in a decision or late 4th, 5th round.
So that's what I'm saying. If you made some money and you just want to throw like a quick parlay in there, you take Conor in the under and Poirier on the
absolutely.
over. Okay. All right. So what do you got, Joe? Who do you got on this?
We definitely agree. I think because it's Poirier, and how tough he is, I think what's going to happen is he's going to come out for the third when he probably shouldn't. And that's when it's going to end. I think, Conor really only needs, 1 or 2 good shots. And the fact that you can still stay on your feet could be your biggest downfall as far as for Poirier is concerned. Because like what Bill was saying, we were talking about it earlier. Everyone's saying, well, he's looked much better at 155. Yeah, okay. Well, Conor was the same weight when he punched him in the face. And now they're the same weight again. And Conor's looked like a murderer at 155. So I still trust that Conor's got the power, the speed advantage. Everyone's saying his technique's no joke. Dana White's saying he's planning on fighting 3 times in this fiscal year. Like he's talking all the right talk. And last time he dispatched Donald Cerrone, a guy who had more finishes and more wins in the UFC than anyone, inside of 48 seconds without getting his hands dirty.
And Joe, let me jump in real quick. And like I've said, I was telling Chris before the show started, I think what's happened is Dana White knows this. So he's going to have Conor fight Poirier, win, maybe fight a second fight. Khabib is no way in hell going to let Conor hold his belt. Nope. He's going to come out of retirement, pummel the shit out of Conor again, and then retire again. But there's no way Khabib's going to let Conor hold that belt. And that's how Dana White's setting up that big moneymaker with the Conor Khabib part 2.
Yep. You notice how George St. Pierre cooled off in those talks? Dude, Khabib is different, man.
He's a different human being.
He's different than all of them. He's the Michael Jordan.
He's never even had a close fight. All his fights were complete domination.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick and I see the same way on this on a lot of things. I don't hate on talent. And a lot of people love to do that just because it's getting fashionable. Let's hate on this. Listen, Conor McGregor, I always err on the side of who I think is going to be great or can be great. That's why I picked Adesanya over Costa. And then Costa looked like a murderer. Adesanya is like an artist. And I think Conor knows this is his last run. He's in great condition to do it. And I think he's dead serious. I think he's going to come out and get it done.
That's legit. All right, hey, everybody who's still watching, thanks for tuning in. Got a lot of viewers. I think more than that watched the inauguration. But anyways, what are the parlays? Pay attention. This is where you got to slow it down, write some stuff down. We've made a lot of money off parlays this year. Like I said, we've taken a couple of licks, but that's why Vegas has big buildings. But for the most part, we're winning some parlays. Bill, what's the parlay you're betting the most amount of money on?
All right, if I'm doing a parlay, I'm actually going to some prelims that we haven't talked about.
Pay attention to prelims, people.
All right, so prelims, you got a dude named Evloev. I don't want to say sure thing because this dude's burned me before. But Evloev, you're looking at a minus, I think, 620 or something like that. He's on a constant win streak. I don't think he's even lost. He's never lost.
13. Yeah, he's 13-0.
I'm picking him to
catch
win.
weight at 150.
I'll put Ribas also in that parlay. Roundtree is another fight we haven't talked about. Roundtree came in a little heavy today, but came back the second time and made it. I'm putting him in my parlay. And then I'm going Calderwood on one. And if you want to do a second parlay and you don't want to go up to 5 fights, throw Dan Hooker in there. But like I said, for a parlay, I'm not touching Gregor Poirier just because they're both too good. That puncher's chance can sneak in on you. But if you go Evloev, Roundtree, and then go Ribas Calderwood or Ribas Dan Hooker, you're good to go.
There you go. So you might have to slow it down and play it in slow motion, those of you watching. But again, you got an extra 15, 20, maybe an extra 100. $100 parlay is kind of a waste of money but not if you got it. Listen to these guys. You might win it, take a big payday home. Joe, what's your parlay for Saturday?
Okay. Definitely like Dan Hooker. I'm not sure if these odds are up to date, but he's a minus 140 here. So that's a good money to throw in a parlay. Like Calderwood, and depending on what site or who you're betting with, I like Calderwood and parlay that with over 2.5 or by decision, whichever one it'll let you do. So you got the three multipliers there. I like Mirdoff, and I like him. I like him to finish also. So if you can parlay Mirdoff, some sites will let you do it, some won't. But Mirdoff and parlay him with a TKO, and then I like Ribas, and that right there is kind of keeps it simple. You're locked into a few fights, but you just got the multipliers as far as finishes. So I like Ribas, Mirdoff by TKO, Calderwood by decision, and Dan Hooker.
All right, there you have it, Gruntworks and Trash Talk Nation. We have the parlays in there, and so put your money on them. You're going to win. Like I said, we made money all year, so just listen to us. If it's your first time bet with us and you lose, just stick around. And again, got to put out that disclaimer: if you don't got the money, don't bet it. Don't be stupid. All right. We got a big show coming up tomorrow, and I'm going to invite Bill on there because the Mad Russian, because it's his buddy. Who do we got coming on the Trash Talk Hour tomorrow?
Hey, tomorrow we got Terrell Naylor and Ronin Security talking about security, and he does a lot of work with canines. Another great vet, and of course, it's going to be a great show because he's a fellow former Fister and former JTAC with 7th Group with me. So it's going to be a great show tonight. It'll be lots of trash talk with him on here. Especially as all you 11Bs. Now you got an extra Fister in there to throw into the mix.
Yeah, wait till he hears the song we got cooking up for him. Those of you who are watching for the first time again or are watching the replay, go check us out on YouTube. Check out our podcast, Veteran Trash Talk Hour. We started it for our own therapy so we could talk shit to each other, and it turned into being something pretty awesome. So now we use that platform to promote veteran-owned businesses. So if you have a veteran-owned business, we'd love to promote you for free. All right, just come on. I don't care what it is. We got guys who wrote cadence books. We got guys that did VA mortgage loans. That wasn't very exciting, but it helps a lot of people knowing that these guys have these businesses. And now this business is exciting too. Security. Too bad it's a Fister. No big deal. We won't hold it against.
We did have
them.
A doctor. We had a doctor on that treated PTSD through neuroscience. Dr. Juan. Dr. Juan from Harvard. Yeah, he was. So check him out. He worked on another guy from the United Wings of Liberty. Worked on him and got him walking again. So it's pretty amazing that these guys are able to do that. So check out our show, and we hope to see you tomorrow at 1400 Eastern time. All right, that's 2:00 for you people that have been out too long. And again, big shout out to 10th Mountain Whiskey and our other sponsor, Ventura Training and Athletics. And go on our website, veterantrashtalk.com, and you'll be able to go to our partners page. And we got, like I said, we got that guy with the VA mortgages and loans. He might not work with you because he's real busy and makes a lot of money, but he'll look over your stuff for you, and he'll make sure you're doing it the right way and getting the right stuff. And that's what we do. That's what we want to build. We want to build the biggest community of veterans so we can take care of each other and fighting PTSD and TBI, MST, military sexual trauma, get those demons out, and we'll crush them together. Watch the fights tomorrow. Pick with the boys. They're pretty freaking good. And like I said, for the NFL, go all favorites tomorrow and put that money down. Great having you guys. We'll see you all tomorrow.